today's top 5 between the legendary Zoltan and myself is gonna be the best JRPG composers of all time.
Yes.
And obviously we made a list of our favorites, and we'll see if we coincided with some of them, and we'll try to reach a consensus, a definitive list for that JRPG show. Okay, so my number 5, for my number 5, I chose Shoji Meguro. He's the guy who composed the themes for Persona series and the Shin Megami Tensei series. Awesome composer, a very, versatile. You know, I love how he can just do whatever, any type of music. And my number 4 is actually Motoi Sakuraba, because I'm such a big Valkyrie Profile fan, Star Ocean fan, Tales of fan. This guy is huge, and you guys know that. Number 3, I put probably the most famous composer of all time, the legendary Nobuo Uematsu, composer of the Final Fantasy games. And number 2, I have a name you probably don't recognize, people. This is Hayato Sonoda. Never heard of him?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, you probably heard the Ys music or the Trails music, the Falcom music. Well, Hayato Sonoda is like the leader of the famous Falcom Teen sound. So he composed. I love Ys. I love the Trail series. I'm such a metalhead like you. And I just love this guy. And my number 1, my favorite composer is Yasunori Mitsuda. Hands down, needs no introduction.
My number 5, I put Yasunori Mitsuda. The one that got me into him would be Xenogears. And I want to say Chrono Trigger as well, but a lot of people say that a lot of the popular songs in that game were actually done by Nobuo Uematsu, so I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah.
Number 4, I put Yuki Kajiura. I think she's only done like one game, and that was Xenosaga 3.
Xenosaga 2 and 3, yeah.
Oh, did she do some 2 as well? Yeah. But for me, it was all about Xenosaga 3. I love her soundtrack for that. Number 3, I put Motoi Sakuraba mostly for all those Tri-Ace games. And number 2, another person not so well known, Kohei Tanaka, known I guess best for Alundra, Resonance of Fate. My number 1, I put Hitoshi Sakimoto, who did FF Tactics, FF12, Vagrant Story.
And he did also the Valkyria Chronicles games. All of them.
Valkyria
the music for all of them. All right, so we both have we coincided with 2 names, Sakuraba and Mitsuda. I think both of them should be up there in the definitive list. Uematsu was my number 3, and well, he's just so legendary. He influenced a lot of the musicians we listen to. Some of these have actually recognized Uematsu as an influence. He's like the godfather of JRPG music, right?
He kind of is, yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan when I was in my late 20s. Nowadays, I listen more to Sonoda or even Mitsuda or Sakuraba, Meguro, other ones. But Uematsu is such an important, like a very historical figure, man. That's my case on Uematsu. If you don't want Uematsu on the definitive list, that's okay. But I think he should be there at the very least at number 5 because of the historical importance because there wouldn't be any Final Fantasy music without this guy.
I also listened to a lot of Uematsu back in the day, and my favorite soundtracks for him were FF6 and 7, and I liked 8 as well. I mean, and his legendary status is basically untouchable. From my list, I'm willing to let go of Yuki Kajiura because I know that she's hardly done any games. Like, I think those are like the only games she's done. I just really love how she did Xenosaga 3, and she used her band. She has a band called Fiction Junction, which has a lot of female vocalists, like 5 female vocalists. And she used that it's a rock band, and she used that band to do some of the songs, like the song that plays when you battle a certain character that maybe I shouldn't spoil. So, and like that's one of my all-time favorite songs of any genre ever. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to put her. But I realize she's not that prolific in the realm of game soundtracks. So I'm willing to let her slip off the definitive.
Yeah, I'm willing to let go of Meguro. I am a Persona fan, and I'm a big Shin Megami Tensei fan. But I gotta admit, out of the entire series, I prefer Ryota Kosuka, but he's only done Shin Megami Tensei 4 and Apocalypse. I really love those soundtracks, but I left Kosuka out because of the same reasons you're gonna leave Yuki out. because he's barely done anything. Meguro is such a big guy, comes from the late 80s, composing music, and I love the guy, but I gotta admit, I'm not the biggest, Persona music fan.
Yeah, Kohei Tanaka is, he's done more than Yuki Kajiura, but he hasn't done that much. So yeah, I'm thinking off the top of my head now. He did Resonance of Fate alongside Motoi Sakuraba. He did all the orchestra music, I assume, because all the dungeon music sounds like Motoi music. The guy really, really blew me away with Alundra. And one of the things that I always think about is how the first dungeon theme that he made, the first dungeon theme in the game and the last dungeon theme in the game are my two favorite themes in the game. And I really like how it starts super strong and end even stronger. And a lot of final dungeons in games, some of them have great songs, some of them have okay songs. And, it's my opinion that the final dungeon should be one of the greatest songs in the game.
Exactly.
And he really nailed it, in my opinion.
Agree.
In the end, though, Kohei Tanaka hasn't done that many games.
Okay. So you want to let it go?
And Alundra's not an RPG. I guess we should let it go.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I do consider the game as an RPG, but yeah, it's one of those games, All right, so we both got Mitsuda and Sakuraba. They both should be there. Mitsuda is my number 1, but yours is number 5. But Sakuraba is number 3 for you and number 4 for me. So I would really love to see Mitsuda in the first place, but it seems like we both have preference for Sakuraba.
Well, deciding between Mitsuda and Sakuraba, the difference between them, I think they both give their all and all that, but admittedly, I kind of think of Sakuraba as kind of like Johann Sebastian Bach, in the way that there's that one song that Johann Sebastian Bach did, the da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. He did that Toccata in Fugue song, is like unbelievably famous, but the dude's written like thousands of songs and nobody knows any of the others. And I view Sakuraba the same way. He writes like, he's probably literally coming up on the 10,000th song pretty soon, right? Like he's done so many 60 to 80 song games. Just like every year he does like 2 or 3 full RPG soundtracks.
Yeah.
But then like only some of the songs jump out, or only some games. Like I do not like the Tales of Vesperia's soundtrack, to be honest.
It's okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like all of his Tales soundtracks are kind of vanilla, I would say.
Yeah,
but
I agree. As a matter of fact, I agree. Each and every single one of them has like 2 or 3 songs that are freaking amazing, and the rest of the soundtrack is classic JRPG traditional music. They're okay.
Yeah.
He really stands out, in my opinion, in Star Ocean, in Valkyrie Profile.
Same here.
Oh my god, what amazing soundtracks. So
we're of the same opinion with him.
What were you gonna say about Mitsuda?
So in the case of Mitsuda, though, he's got Chrono Cross, amazing soundtrack. Xenogears, amazing soundtrack. He's also on Xenoblade, isn't he?
Xenoblade Chronicles. He also did Valkyria Revolution, amazing soundtrack there. People can say whatever they want about the game. The music is untouchable in that game.
And he also did Shadow Hearts, some songs on Shadow Hearts 2, I believe. Oh, that's right. And the first Xenosaga, which he got the full orchestra for. That was pretty impressive.
So, you're trying to say which one is better for you, Sakuraba or Mitsuda? Sakuraba, right? Did you put it number 3?
I guess I prefer Sakuraba's style more, right?
But
just going off my opinion.
You don't feel comfortable with Sakuraba on the first place of the definitive list.
Not the first place. I would say Hitoshi Sakimoto is roughly equally important, though.
Yeah, he is.
And I prefer him because he's kind of the, he writes all those battle songs for Tactics and Valkyria Chronicles, and I kind of feel like he's the heavy metal orchestra guy. Like all those, they're all orchestra music, but like they would make great metal songs, in my opinion.
But Sakimoto over Mitsuda. You got me.
It's a hard sell, right?
It's a hard.
Okay, let's go ahead and accept. We can accept Mitsuda as number 1, I think. Yeah, I love Xenogears and Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger soundtracks. So.
Okay, then I'll give you Sakimoto in number 2. How does that sound?
Okay, yeah, let's do Sakimoto number 2.
All right.
Then Motoi is number 3.
We're gonna put Mitsuda in number 1.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sakimoto in number 2. And Sakuraba number 3, you were saying?
Right, because he was on both our lists, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay.
So that leaves 2 slots for Uematsu. Oh, no, I guess that leaves the last 2 slots is just Nobu Uematsu and Hayato. Is it Sonoda?
Hayato Sonoda. Yeah, all right. So Nobu has to be there. Sonoda is... nowadays, I do like Sonoda more, but out of respect, Uematsu needs to be number 4, in my opinion, because of the historical influence. And I guess we can put Sonoda in number 5. All right, so that's it. That's our definitive list. Number 5, Mr. Hayato Sonoda, criminally underrated. Number 2, the legendary Nobuo Uematsu. Number 3, Motoi Sakuraba. Number 2, the legendary Hitoshi Sakimoto. Not that legendary, but he should fucking be. And number 1, the almighty best musician, in my opinion, for JRPGs, Yasunori Mitsuda. That's our top 5. If you guys think you can come up with a better top 5, or do you have your own saying in this, let me know in the comment section below. Share your own top 5, share your opinion, and share whatever the hell you want to about this top 5. This is it. That JRPG Show's top 5 on the best JRPG composers.
That's a pretty solid top 5 in my opinion.
All right.